Hello and welcome back to another lesson. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use the most common verb in English, to be, in the present tense, and learn how to make positive and negative statements. Let's first take a look at a positive statement. I am a student. I am a student. Now, in English, we have to use the correct form of the verb for different subjects. And using the correct form of the verb for the sentence subject is called subject-verb agreement. And the verb to be has three forms depending on the subject. In this sentence, the subject is I, so we use am. But if the subject is second person you or a plural noun such as students or they, we use are. And if the subject is a third person singular noun, such as he or Lisa, we use is. As mentioned in the previous lesson, after the verb to be, we can have a subject complement. And a subject complement is usually a noun or an adjective. In this sentence, we have the noun, a student. When we speak, we often contract the subject and the verb. So we usually say, I'm a student, rather than I am a student. Now, the sentences that use the verb to be are very common in English, as we use this kind of sentence to introduce ourselves, say what our jobs are, say our birthdays, and generally say what something is or who someone is. So it's very important that you are able to use the verb to be correctly. Let's take a look at a few more example sentences. You are the captain. She is a nurse. They are friends. And again, we tend to contract the subject and the verb in speech. So it's more common to say, you're the captain, she's a nurse, and they are friends. One important point to note with contractions is that we cannot contract are with general nouns. So although we can contract Lisa and is and say Lisa's a student, we cannot contract Tom and Lisa with are. We can only say Tom and Lisa are students. So do keep that in mind. Let's do a speaking practice of these sentences. Repeat after me. I'm a student. You're the captain. She's a nurse. They are friends. That was great. Well done. Let's now take a look at how we make negative sentences with the verb to be. And negative sentences are when we say that something is not true. Here's an example sentence. I'm not a student. I'm not a student. When we make negative sentences, we add the word not after the verb to be. So it's I'm not a student. Here are a few more example sentences. You're not the captain. She's not a nurse. They are not friends. Now, with the verbs are and is, we can actually contract the verbs with not. So we can also say, you aren't the captain, she isn't a nurse, and they aren't friends. However, with am, the verb can only contract with the subject and never with not. Let's now do a speaking practice with these sentences, and we'll focus on sentences that contract the subject and the verb to be. Repeat after me. I'm not a student. You're not the captain. She's not a nurse. They are not friends. Great job, well done. Let's now do the final quiz for this lesson. In this final quiz, you will see sentences with blanks, and you have to say the correct sentence using the appropriate form of the verb to be. After you have said the answer, you can listen to the correct sentence. Jack is a teacher. Jack's a teacher. Daniel and Tom are singers. I am not his brother. I'm not his brother. They are not apples. They're not apples. We are not students. We're not students. You are my partner. You're my partner. Excellent effort. Well done. Okay, so in this lesson, we learned how to use the verb to be to form positive and negative statements. Next, we have a practice lesson, so do make sure to take that lesson for more speaking practice. See you soon again. Bye bye.